much of the reason we get pain in our bodies, not the only reason, but a lot of the reason, is that over time we develop all these habituated patterns in our minds of how we perceive ourselves. You know, it's really how we are in the world. And not all the time are those patterns particularly effective or beneficial for us. So you can imagine, like, if you were in a car accident or something of that nature, your body has to go into a sort of traumatic space. It has to kind of tense itself up. And unfortunately, human beings, for whatever reason, are not very good at getting out of those traumatic holding patterns. Animals actually are really good at it, but for some reason we're not. And so sometimes we can hold on to those traumatic patterns for all of our lives. So we're just creating a context for the nervous system to learn. And we're going really slow so that it can pick up all kinds of information. And we're bringing our conscious attention to how we're sensing our bodies. And then the nervous system does what it does. It learns a new pattern. It learns a pattern that's more efficient and better for you. And so as we go through our life, if we can release a lot of those habituated patterns and find new patterns that are more efficient and easy, we can move and we can discover a whole new way of experiencing the world that's releasing a lot of those tensions and habituated ways of being in the world. Initially, I wasn't really that interested in training as a sort of lifestyle, a career or a lifestyle. But over the course of the training, it's had such an impact on my life in terms of my body, in terms of my way of thinking, a way of seeing the world, a way of perceiving the world. And I felt like it was an incredible way to change people's experience, to change people in how they live and how they feel about themselves, how they feel about the world. And as a result, I decided to become a practitioner. In my own experience, it's been incredible in terms of how it's affected me and my body, but also just in terms of the way it has allowed me to just think about things in a very simple, a more organic way of seeing the world. It's changed me in many, many fundamental ways.
What I learned in those kinds of lessons is really something that's been one of the biggest things that has been sticking with me, which is this sense of you don't need to be trying to do something harder all the time. You don't need to do a kind of an exercise that hurts, and hurting is going to be better for you somehow. Instead, there's this sense of let's try doing it a little easier, a little less effort, a little less effort, a little easier each time. And that's the piece that stays with me all week round, and I find myself continually using that kind of thinking in other things that I'm doing. So I might be in my basement trying to move something, and suddenly I'll go, oh, there should be an easier way. And you know, every time there is. I mean, that's the amazing thing, there's an easier way. And so I use that both when I'm walking down the street and when I'm just doing things that seem hard out in the world.
Originally, I just wanted to find a method of movement that helped me optimize my potential. What I got out of Feldenkrais was much more than that. It's really hard to put into words. It's about having a better relationship with yourself, and in my experience, is being less in conflict with yourself, being more self-accepting and being more gentle with yourself. I have been doing martial arts for close to 25 years and theater for about 12. And this has fed into both of those arts for me. This is an essential part of my life. I try to do this at least on my own 5 minutes every day, from what I remember from class.
As a result of my lessons with Bryce, I feel like I'm sitting much better in front of the computer, and that it's reducing that pain that I have from many hours of computer work. And I feel like I'm learning to move better, and it's something that I like to practice all the time.
So if we change the way we move, we change the way we think, we change the way we feel, and we change the way we sense the world.